In 1959, during the waning years of the Eisenhower administration, Fidel Castro led a revolution in Cuba, 90 miles off the southern tip of Florida, that evolved into the first successful communist revolution in the Americas. In response to Castro's takeover of several U.S. companies, the U.S. government instituted an embargo against Cuba. Castro began accepting both economic and military aid from the Soviet Union. In 1960, President Eisenhower approved a secret plan to have the CIA train and arm Cuban exiles, people who had fled Cuba after the Castro Revolution, to overthrow Castro and end communism in Cuba. After Eisenhower left office, President John F. Kennedy approved the invasion. On April 17, 1961, the American Navy landed a group of about 1,500 Cuban exiles in the Bay of Pigs on the south coast of Cuba. At the last minute, President Kennedy canceled U.S. air support in an attempt to conceal U.S. backing of the invasion, and without air support, the invasion collapsed. In the summer of 1962, to help protect Castro's communist regime, Soviet leader Nikita Khrushchev secretly began building intermediate-range ballistic missile launchers in Cuba. Missiles with atomic warheads launched from Cuba could reach American cities within minutes. After an American spy plane revealed the construction of the missile bases in Cuba, President Kennedy demanded that they be dismantled and returned to the Soviet Union. The U.S. Navy blockaded the island so that ships potentially carrying missiles would be intercepted.
Armed warships were there manning the line, and every day Soviet freighters carrying missiles would get closer and closer. Were they going to turn back? Would they try to break through the line? Would war break out? It was genuinely, people were frightened, and with every reason.
It shall be the policy of this nation to regard any nuclear missile launched from Cuba against any nation in the Western Hemisphere as an attack by the Soviet Union on the United States, requiring a full retaliatory response upon the Soviet Union.
That autumn, the entire world watched and waited as Soviet ships steamed toward Cuba. American ships stood ready to attack. On October 24th, convinced that the U.S. Navy would not back down, the Soviet ships turned back. Several days later, Khrushchev officially backed down. In exchange for a U.S. pledge not to invade the island and Kennedy's secret pledge to withdraw missiles from Turkey, the Russians agreed to dismantle their missiles in Cuba. The Cuban Missile Crisis was as close to nuclear war as the world had ever come. Soon, Khrushchev and Kennedy agreed to stop testing nuclear weapons in the atmosphere, the first significant agreement between the two sides since the end of World War II. But hopes for more progress faded when Kennedy was assassinated in 1963. Khrushchev was removed as the Soviet leader in 1964, partly because of the humiliation of the Cuban Missile Crisis.